warm welcome. It is Friday night. That means we're here. We're virtually parading with hopefully a glimmer of actual parading on the horizon. We can see it far away in the future. We've got, I was going to say we've got funny things going on with the screen there, Roy, whatever you're doing. Good evening, Karina and Ray McHugh. Sadie Moorhead, unfortunately, no requests tonight. Tonight's picks are all by Brian Emerson. Davy Semple's in Macrofell, Amanda Sheridan, Tobermore, Paul Anderson's watching, Stephen McKinney's in the Toon, Alan Knox is watching, Gillian Johnson, Tony Miller, Lynn Patience Fitchie, June Kramer, Scott Clark, oh my goodness, where's my mouse gone? William Fenton is watching there in sunny Port Luno, John Hewitt's in Liverpool, Billy Gilmore's also watching, Joy Cullen, William Smith, Muriel, Quinn is on, Ian Campbell, Brian Emerson himself. Brian didn't want to come on live on air. I said, why should I get the abuse for his picks? He should get the abuse for his picks. But he wasn't having any of it. And that is fine. Roy found a new gift today, everyone, which he's very, very amused with. So that's what you're seeing in the corner of the screen. Little amuses the innocent. Isn't that what they say?
Down the street with their flag to get the parade and they go.
Wish I could walk as quick as that. Lorraine Hunter's watching in Glasgow. Eddie Tony's watching. China is in another ban. He's in another band, so we won't have China's company this evening.
I don't
Roberta
think it's
Ray's
a ban this time he's on. I think he's been wiped.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
He's not there, so it's a ban normally means you can still see the profile.
Not sure what he's done this time. Roberto Ray is watching in a Huckle. Sorry, I'm having to squint here. Norse Main is watching Mervyn Johnson and Cole Ryan, Gillian Douglas Ray, and Jensen, of course, Philip Williamson, William Riddle, Glenn Miller is watching, Joy Cullen. All I can see is blurs. Hugh McPhee is watching. Keith Anderson. Oh, I can only read the name. I can't read the comments. Hold on, I get the gleeks back on again. James Glasgown's watching. Jim Elliott is watching. Alan Knox, Noel McFatrick, Trevor Monaghan, evening. Simon Moore, Stephen Feely is on. Mark Freeburn, Roy Fisher, Neil. Roy, evening, Southern California. I suppose it's sunny with you. Scott says, is it Denise or Brian tonight? He's confused. Denise was last Saturday night. My goodness, Scott. What world are you living in? Too much drink, Scott. Too much drink.
I can understand where Scott's coming from because the way that I launch the programs now to get them both to run at the same time, it automatically picks the title from last week. So then as soon as it goes live on Facebook, I go and edit it so it's got the right title on it. So it started off as Denise, but it's now Brian Emerson.
Cannot get the staff. Irene Sheen is in Airdrie, Scotland. David Thompson's in Limavady. Jerry Gardner's watching in Pollokshaw, Glasgow. Francis McCann and Derek are watching in Downpatrick. Reggie and Tilly are watching in Kiel. I'm assuming that Joy is there as well. Bracey Kyle's watching in Ardglyffe. Victoria Sheridan, Barbara Miller are watching. Ryan McGuinness, Mark Beacom, Saul Cowan, Ronnie Hindman, Colin Johnson, Jennifer McAllister says evening from all in Craigie. Robert Harkness, that old top is hurting my eyes. Tad Adamson, is that another freebie t-shirt I've on tonight? Indeed it is not. It is not. Bought this one. Paid good money. David Thompson's on. Good evening, David. How are you?
Wear that t-shirt. That's all I can say. No, you'd have to be paid to wear it. They couldn't even get. They couldn't give those things away free. They'd be paying you to wear it.
Is that okay? Have I given you enough of my thoughts on that comment? Now, as always, we are going to feature first up before we go on to Brian's clips, we're going to feature up the first bands who would have had their parade tonight. Next year for cert. Absolutely. Loyal Sons of Benna is our first one. Hopefully I said that right, because I got corrected, I think, the last time I said it wrong. This is them playing at Kilkenny Volunteers Parade in 2019. They should have had their parade tonight. Hope you enjoy this little clip back at them. 2019, 2 years ago. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? excellent there from Loyal Sons of Benna. Hopefully I produced that correctly. Couple of ones there saying about loving their uniform. Wee dolls at the front, says Glenn Miller. Even weird dolls as well. Let's just see. Good evening from Sunscorp. Underrated band, says Robert Goldsmith. Top class, I'm assuming you mean, Robert. They're fantastic band, says Chloe. Loyalist Peter's in from Loyalist Heart. I'm just scrolling through here. Roy, could you turn your volume up a wee bit, says my mum. Evening, folks, says Tim Webb. Wesley Stitt is hi. Will Ham is on. GMAC is on. Ronnie Heinben. I've mentioned Ronnie. Eddie says he's looking forward to Will's Melody Night tomorrow night. I'm afraid there's no Melody Night. What he did was he ditched all the melody and he ditched the accordions, and he's just going to have a pure blood and thunder tomorrow night.
Oh, you missed the fact that he's got two. He's got sort of a one brass bandy and one pipe. The rest are all blood and thunder.
Yeah. I did argue with him, but it got me nowhere. Colin Johnson says that China's banned because he's selling Chelsea flags. You are quite right. John Winter and Lee Winter are both watching, as is Bart Rennick from Maguire's Bridge, Dennis Boston from Ballyhalbert, Neil Simpson from Bloomfield. Bracey says that he is counting down to the 12th. Aren't we all? My goodness. Well, the good thing about it is that we are at least getting inklings that it's not going to be the same as last year, provided the restrictions are lifted. We hope that it's, I'm not sure what Roy's going on with the screen here. I could just see things flashing out of the corner of my eye. We hope that we're going to have, at the very least, a district parade. I can't see it being back to normal. Let's face it. I can't see it being back to normal, but I do think we might have district parades, which is good. It's a step up from last year. Listen, let's not go too far too fast.
Good news for Ballymena as well. Good news for Ballymena as well. That the NI 100 is going to hold their banner parade.
They are indeed. It's in August as well, so we'll keep you updated near the time. And again, everything's related to restrictions. Now, Neil has said that his wife is 40 again. He says apparently she's 40 again. You could be in trouble for that kind of comment, Neil, but I will make a note of it here. Tell me her name, or is she just known as the wife? Tell the wife. And let me see, there was another one all there. William Moss is watching from South Carolina and USA. Welcome, William. Glad to have you. It's afternoon, of course, for you. We're glad that you joined us here on Ulster Bands Forum, as is Anne Morrison Markey, who is also in from the USA. Share it. Share the feed. We would love to see more Americans in here to see what your roots are, because remember, whenever your relatives, if you think you're Irish American and when your relatives emigrated from Ireland, no matter what part they emigrated from, if it was before 1921, they emigrated from a part of the United Kingdom. They were British. So this is your roots. So we are so glad to have you there. I love correcting American relations whenever they say, "Oh, we're Irish." You're not Irish. No, you're not. Yes, thank you, Neil. So April is her name. I will, and she was, of course, born in April. Oh, very good. Good. Gary Bryan is watching. All William Scott is watching in Cumber. Eddie says it's looking good for a few parades soon. At the moment, it is indeed. Scott thinks that China is away for a pint with Jimmy Bryson and Joe Brawley. You could be right. I'd say that boy could stir something in among them too. Now, the other band who would have been having their parade this evening would be Eden Moore from Limavady. And this is a quick clip of them from Steeple Defenders Parade in 2017. Excellent there. A couple of ones admiring the tune. Ken Wood says, Bosch tune, don't hear it much, think it's Go Man Go. I couldn't tell you the name of it, actually. I really don't know. I am sure that someone will let us know because they always do. Ryan, I knew that would please you. Sorry?
Sounded like Polly put the kettle on.
Oh, rubbish. And that, folks, is why Roy doesn't appreciate good music by accordions or silver. Ryan,
I do appreciate silver. The Royal Marines.
Oh, well, that's some of them. Some of your choices of the Royal Marines are a bit.
Because you don't appreciate good music.
Puppet on a string, Trevor. That's exactly what it's called. Puppet on a. No, it's not puppet on a string. No, it's not puppet on a string. I was humming it through my head there. No, it's not puppet on a string. Now the Steve McKinney says good marching play band. New Ryan, that would please you. A Limavady band, and also I'm going to say Sylvia, but I don't think Sylvia's right. Maybe it is Sylvia. Not sure. Someone else is always looking for Limavady bands. So that will please you today. Josh says he was in with China today, got a few Prod Boys CDs. The poor fella trying to work out what was going on with this Facebook. Grace Curry is in the Fountain, Londonderry. Well, thank you all for joining us. We're here every weekend until we are back on parade. We'll be here for you. Tonight's picks are by Brian Emerson from down in County Fermanagh, and Brian is a very proud member of the Ballyrae Silver. I was looking for it there. I didn't want to announce the wrong band. I didn't want to transfer his band membership at all. Like, it's bad enough renaming bands, but I didn't want to transfer him in the band, just in case he maybe had a problem with that there. Now, for a change, we are going to start off with a little bit of Lambegs, because that was Brian's pick, and he says to his knowledge, this is the only Lambeg drumming club in County Fermanagh. This is the Lisbon Lambeg and drumming club playing at the Defenders of the Rock Lisbon Parade. So we hope you enjoy this nice brisk rousing start to our program this evening with a few Lambegs. Alexander Campbell Robertson, I have to say that your comment did make me laugh, which is a hard thing to do when you're listening to Lambegs. I probably should have warned you all to turn your volume down. There's a few of you enjoy it. Carl Porter's enjoying it. Adam Livingston's enjoying it. Eddie Tony would love to see China carry one of them. Scott believes that he could actually live in it. That's not right. He is not on this evening to defend himself.
Well, I do have to say that was an inspired way to start the night. It will make sure everybody's awake.
We should maybe put it on halfway through the night in case they fell asleep.
No, I actually quite liked it. I think it's quite unique. We haven't done it before. Start it off with the Lambegs, and well done.
Waking everybody up. Waking everybody up. There you go. Praise indeed, Brian. What have you been feeding him money or something, or chocolate? One or the other. Alex said, good evening from sunny Clackmanahan. And this is the bit that made me laugh. My baldy napper is like a beetroot. So you've got a bit of the sun today then, Alex. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Wear a hat. Wear a hat. Colin says we should have a band 4 months every month. England, I think Scotland don't have a parade every week. Would be something to look forward to. The only problem with that there, Colin, is we'll probably be out at parades somewhere, so I don't know how we'd manage it. Trevor says, whiskey on a Sunday. Not sure. Someone else did confirm that the name of the tune, for flip bands anyway, is Go Man Go, but you guys always rename things. Why you can't just leave the names the way they are, I do not know. Do not know. But anyway, we'll not argue about it. Now, next up is a great clip chosen by Brian. And just to let everyone know, he did ask me to pass on his thanks to Myrtle Ryan for helping him with the picks, because Myrtle was the person who sent them on to me, I have to say it. They could even be Myrtle's picks for all I know. But he did say that he wanted to pass on his thanks to her. So thank you, Myrtle, for your picks this evening. So now you know who to abuse. It's Brian and Myrtle who gets the abuse if you don't like the picks, not me. Okay, not me. You can't even abuse Roy for a change. I'm not allowing you to abuse Roy. Normally, I would be agreeing that you could abuse Roy, but not tonight. Not tonight. Brian's next pick, he says, this is a mighty band. They're always very smart on parade. They make slow marching look so easy. They do indeed. Unfortunately, not a full clip, but still we get to see. I'm just reading Scott's comment, talking about leaving names the way they are and her renaming bands every week. Shh, shh.
I'm putting bands off the road and.
Shh, 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 shh. We don't talk about those things.
Is that what the Liverpool fans did on Wednesday night?
Look, just because they're not winning doesn't mean to say you stop supporting them, okay? Yes, so the next clip up is from Meningate. As I say, it's not a full clip. It is partial clip, but you still get the whole effect of the slow marching. It's Meningate, and it is, of course, Oh My Protestant Boys. There has to be a full clip of that somewhere. If someone knows where there is a full clip of it, please do send it over to me. Gillian says that Jensen agrees with you, Scott, because I renamed Donaghadee Foots and Drums last week to Donaghadee Accordion. So I did. Well, I'm reading so many things on the screen, you see, that my brain just loses all track, you know, because nothing I say is ever pre-planned. It's just, I think it's straight out there. So it's because...
Does anybody else think that Oh My Protestant Boys are missing... It doesn't look the same without the banneret in the front. I like the two flags and the two drum majors, but I just think... that's so used to seeing them with their banneret out front. I just was just lacked.
I'll be honest, I never noticed. I never really noticed that much, to be honest. I love their banneret. Their banneret is cracker right enough, I have to say. The image on it is superb. Yeah, no, so that's why when I'm in the middle of talking and then I stop my sentence halfway through, it's because I've read something then, usually a comment from one of you idiots, that totally distracts me and I lose my train of thought. So that's why bands get named wrong. It's your fault, really. When you think about it, like all the comments, that just causes me to stop thinking. Is that working? Worth a try. Worth
No,
a try.
definitely not working.
Was worth a try. David Gibson is watching in sunny Springer in Glasgow. He says, great news. Hope to get to some sort of parade in August. Jimmy Graham thought that was a fantastic march. Joel Jackson's watching in from Ballykelly. Edward Fellows said that was brilliant. Kenny Dummigan said it must be my age. I don't think you started losing your memory at 21, Kenny. Aaron Gillis said they were sounding well. Eddie Turney hates Rod Stewart. Stephen McKinney says, brilliant, what a band. One of Jensen's favourite bands, Gillian tells us. Craig says, Oma Protestant Boys are very popular the past 2 weeks. There is more Oma bands. So first of all, Craig, you were complaining because we wouldn't play enough Oma bands. M&D Superb says, Ken Stewart. Ken, do you remember all those many, 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 many years ago? I think Dunloy were the first to put out the Slow March on the Road. I can remember the first night we did it. There was actually people running down the street to get seeing it. It was a bit crazy. Jim is right. Support Liverpool, one loser draw, absolutely. Well, any true fan does. Any true fan does.
And Brian Goody picked up that the drum says the Fusiliers on it, but it's the ninth Enniskillen Corps of Drums is what they were they're in memory of, which is the local regiment, Tuoma, and they had a corps of drums from the ninth. I think it's the 9th Enniskillens Fusiliers, and that's the local regiment to them. So Oma Protestant Boys have put that onto their skin, going out to France, if my memory serves me right.
Okay. I didn't even notice that either. Jimmy says, keep drinking the gin and I'll believe myself by bedtime. The thing about it is, as long as you believe it, that's all that matters. Diane Steele, that's the other one. Diane, you've missed a Limavady band. What were you playing at? You were late. Will Mullen is also watching. Will's picks are tomorrow night, so make sure you join us. And I believe Will is going to join us on air as well. Beautiful Oma Protestant Boy, says Jean. Carl Porter says, great choice, Brian. So let's see. His next choice is also a good one. Again, unfortunately, not a full clip. Quite a short one, actually. But I actually love this clip because it just shows the versatility of this next band, because they can go on parade with small numbers. And as Brian says, they're a great wee band. You see them anywhere. And he says they always sound stronger than a lot of bands with more players. This is probably the smallest I've ever seen Castledurg Young Loyalists, playing extremely well, regardless of the size. And when you look at the flutters, there's two, I think there's 5 flautists to do it right, and I think 2 of them are young fellas. So there's no passengers in this band whatsoever. This is them in 2011 playing at Dunloy's Parade. Eddie says it's twice for Gold Coast. To be honest, Eddie, I never. But did you see that? There was only five flautists. And I mean, 2 of them were wee young fellas. And I mean, really great volume out of them on a dark night as well. And playing extremely well. Fair play to them. Alistair's telling me that Castledurg walked the Glasgow Parade with 3 flitters 3 years ago. You're joking. Seriously? Fair play to them. Fair play to them. Could you see any of the big bands? You know, the bands who have big, big numbers. Any of them walking with 3 flutes? I couldn't. Definitely not. Definitely not. As Jimmy says, well done. Size of it doesn't matter what size of band you're out with. Absolutely, totally right. Clifford Patton wants to know, will Bangor Protestant Boys be on tonight? Also, well done, the Northern Ireland ladies football team the other night. Absolutely. Lee Stair wants to know, can we play Upper Band Fusiliers? Well, guys, tonight, is that a troll there, Roy? Do you want to check that one out? Tonight, the choices are all by Brian Emerson. I have nothing to do with them. They're all his choices, but he's doing well so far, isn't he? Now, I want you all to do something for me. If you're watching and you have never, ever commented, because every week I find people who've been watching the show, but they never comment. So I don't even know you're there. So if you're walking... Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. So it's not a troll after all. It was once I saw the Leitrim. Sorry, Elvis. Once I saw the Leitrim, I was a bit... I what was I saying now? You see, that's what happens to me all the time. What was I saying? Yes. If you're watching and you have never commented before, please do comment. Just say hello. Tell us roughly what town you're from or whatever, just so that we know that you're there, because it's always nice to see you and get to know the names and all that kind of things. Robert says, big balls self-important to go out and win numbers. I don't know that it's self-importance. I think it's more the fact of there's security in large numbers. You're much more exposed if you if you're smaller numbers. Eddie says, half my band watches this. Thank you, Brian. Half my band watches this, and I'm the only Yanti open my gub. Sure, if we comment, you put us in the black book, says Davey. Only if you give me abuse. You only go in the black book for abuse, so you do. Auntie Valerie, Jensen loves your t-shirt. He's only noticing now. Good man, Jensen. A senior moment, Valerie. I know. I'm good.
Just let Jensen know that's him out of the black book now. He's no longer in the black book. He's no longer a black book loyal gang, so he can go join the LFC red book thing, whatever it is. There's no cookies, no cream, no ice cream. So sorry, Jensen.
It's all right, Jensen. We have beer. Stick you with us, son. We'll teach you. Brian Goody says that they walked, that's the Lord Carson, obviously walked with 7 accordions in the main Glasgow parade years ago. What a reception. You do really appreciate small bands. You really, really do. And walking the Glasgow parade in particular with 7 accordions, wow, is all I can say. Wow. I bet your arms were sore at the end of that day. And it's a long day and a long parade as well.
Valerie, does that mean then, if you're saying, oh, your arms will be sore after that, does that mean if you go out with a big band, you're doing a big long walk like that, there's some of the tunes you don't play, so you can give your arms a rest?
No,
so you're a part-time accordion player. See, more revelations coming out every week.
No, it's not that at all. It's just when you're lower in numbers, you tend to play harder, and when you're in larger numbers, you take it a wee bit easier because you've got more. But it's you're horrible. You are horrible.
I'm just being honest to what you say. Just spinning the truth line on it instead of just spinning it as a yarn.
Listen, my motto in all of the bands were jiggy the bellas, get as much volume as possible. Now, I'm just noting down a wee birthday there from Andrew Bell. Just put that down. More important to have a good balanced sound all round and produce good music. Stephen Feely says she's on the beer tonight. Dear knows who should put off the road now. Now. Weight of accordions is mighty. Oh, are you only discovering this now, Glenn? Glenn, of course, has now borrowed Jennifer Fairgray, or Jennifer McAllister of Craigenny Accordion, has very kindly loaned Glenn an accordion so he can start to try and see how he gets on. He was all proud of himself because he had managed, was it Near My God to Thee or Amazing Grace? It was one of the hymns anyway. He was all proud of himself because he'd managed that. So you've discovered they're quite heavy. Yeah. And you wonder why we've all got bad backs. Now, Brian's next clip, he says, this is as close to a silver band sound as you can get. Class band and playing a great march, Imperial Echoes, one of my favorites. Loved playing this, and actually loved playing it with this band. This is Dunloy Accordion at their own parade in 2018. Jackie Mullen, you must not have been jigging your bellows enough. Need more bass. Come on. Play louder, Jackie. Play louder. Keith Allenson said he took Newtonard's Red Hand Defenders Old Boys out with 7 flutes and 4 drums. Having a wee look. People are asking what you call the lady in the blue t-shirt there. That's actually MJ. She has the YouTube channel MJCFC, I think it is. Let me just see. There was another one, a couple other comments there. I was looking for people who never have commented before. Alan Putt says quality as opposed to quantity. Quality and volume are good. Eddie says he used to think that tune was called Imperial Echoes and Tongue the Notes. Very good. Brian Goody, I wasn't in that. I'd left them long before that there. No Surrender for Motherwell says Joe Quiet.
100 years before that.
I don't believe I've seen you commenting before, Joe. Good to have you with us. June Kramer says from Glenavy, but June, you're not a newbie. You're not a newbie, but keep commenting regardless, okay? Alistair says he agrees the UYD played in Sandy Row with it's UYD Sandy Row walked in 1998 in Londonderry with 9 flutes and 4 drummers. What a day, as you say. You play your heart out. You absolutely do. You always give that wee bit extra.
I think somebody called Roy and Roy commented, and somebody else called Scott commented, and you just happen to ignore those 2 comments. You just and somebody else called Joshua as well. It's just selective picking here of comment readings, I see.
Because if I read every single one of them, then there'd be people gurning that I talk too much. Cannot one. Newton Stewart, Valerie. There's more than one Newton. Why, what did I say? What did I say, Keith? What did I say? I've probably got interrupted halfway through. Newton, red-handed fish. Oh, right, okay. Well, I just read out what you wrote, Keith. My good. Jim Finlay says, quite right, Jim. No bad bands. Some are just better than others. Rocky, thank you for sending me the longer clip of All My Protestant Boys at Men and Gate, and hopefully we'll get it on some evening again. Now, next up in Brian's pick, and how do you think he's doing so far? Doing good? I'm not getting abuse, Brian. That's all I can say. I'm not getting abuse, so you must be doing okay. He says he loves to see a band come in the full of the roads. And he says it makes a statement before you even hear the one. And this band, you could definitely say, is coming the full of the road. It is Gertrude Starr on the 12th morning in Belfast in 2013. Excellent from Gertrude. Quite a lot of you enjoying that. Grace says the wee boy is brilliant on the cymbals. A lot of people say that they're loving that clip. Well done, Brian. John Peel says he remembers playing with the Defenders of Derry flute band on a church parade with 6 flutes, 2 side drums and a bass drum led by our late drum major. He says, I remember it well. We all got soaked to the skin, but we kept on playing. That's the thing, Brian, or John. You never stop. You never ever stop. Now, Gillian has got a wonderful request here. She asks, can you ask you all when we get back out on the road to give Jensen a shout? Jensen, of course, is one of the junior rum majors in front of Donaghadee flutes and drums. Not Donaghadee accordion, but Donaghadee flutes and drums. She says, give him a wave. He might not hear you if you shout, but give him a wave anyway. He considers us all his new friends. We are, of course, your friends, Jensen. We are your besties. We are your besties. And I will, without a doubt, wave. I will be the person standing at the side of the road waving like an idiot, not knowing if you're even in the band that night. So somebody wave back at me. That's all I'm asking. Just somebody wave back so don't look daft. But yes, that's why I'm always saying, like, if you're new on here or you've never commented before, give us a comment. We want to know everyone in this wee band family that we have gone along here. Someone else was asking about the t-shirts earlier on. I think it was Linda. Yeah, so I did have a couple of mocks earlier on in the weeks of what t-shirts would look like. I'm showing them to Roy and Lisa to see what we would go for. So we're thinking, like just hashtag band family, Black Book Loyal, hashtag VBP, things like that there. Just to see what, we'll put up a wee selection, 3 or 4 different choices so that you can have a choice. Sorry? There was a couple of them I quite liked. What one did you put up? Yeah, it was quite a nice one. There was a couple other ones that were quite nice too. I can't see it on the screen. Oh yes, there. Yeah, I thought that was nice. And then there was a red one as well with white and blue. What was it? No, there was one before that. It was one of the earlier ones that I did. It was done in the Ulster Says No thing. Fun. I think it was maybe the first one I did. Yeah, try that one. So these are the kind of things that I'm thinking along. Maybe, just something very plain with VBP on it for virtual band parades so that we can all recognize each other when we're at a parade. Because I won't know what any of yous look like. So if I give you a strange look, if you come up and talk to me and I give you a strange look, it's because I haven't a clue who you are. So you have to tell me, okay? Yes, that one. I quite like that one. I like that one. Somebody suggested I do one with like Auntie Val, but the thing is, I don't like the idea of you all running about with Auntie Val. I'm not even an auntie. I'm young enough to be all of your daughters.
You're old enough to be all of us. I mean, every single person in chat, you're old enough to be the great granny, never mind anything else.
Shush. Auntie Val's Black Book. I don't know. Well, I'll put up a range and you can tell me, and whichever the most popular couple are, we'll try and go for those. And
if it's just, by the way, if it is just writing, the writing can, there can be different slogans. It's not too hard.
Order me all 3. Valerie says no. Well, I could put that on. I could put that on a t-shirt if you want. Diane wants to know, will there be enough to go around with the Black Book one? Because there's so many in the Black Book. I think these are all in the Black Book.
Jensen's not. Glenn's his membership's been revoked, so
oh.
We have a committee meeting and it's revoked.
We should do one with it's on the list. Val says no. Well, we can see.
I really like Mark Anderson's suggestion.
What was that one?
I really do. It's with the third comment back from the end there.
Auntie Val, I love accordions. With one of the hearts instead of the word love. Oh yeah.
Mark Anderson says Real Madrid 3, Liverpool 1.
Very British person says Stu Stewart. That's a good idea. Alistair Forget says, don't forget the Stu Big was the Muska Hounds. If any else 3 approach you, we're getting slapped. Well, that is true. That is true. Oh my goodness, no. So I'll get up a ream of ones, and then whatever ones that you want to go to. Glenn says free the Black Book Loyal one. Right, on with more music. On with more music. Ryan, haven't been in the black book yet, he says. You are now. Rodney Quigley says it would look better on a t-shirt than that old Liverpool crest. What I could do is, I don't know if you see up at the top, which side would it be? No, this top right hand corner. So you've got the Ulster Bands form, which is like a red hand with a set of drumsticks through it. So you could take the text away from it and see for Val and Ulster, says David. Really?
I'll keep the text.
Valerie says no. What? What did you say, Ryan?
Keep the text.
You think they keep the text?
Yeah.
Mark, we don't have an Ulster Bands forum one. It's not something that I ever done. We used to have badges a long time ago, just the red hand and the drumstick. They were pretty cool, I have to say.
For one somewhere. Don't know where it is though, but I have one somewhere.
Right.
That Quincy gave me.
Huh?
That Quincy gave me.
Hi. I handed them out right, left, and centre. Ryan is honoured to be in the black book. Right, more music. Now, next up, Brian's own band. He said, "This is my pride and joy. Ballyrae Silver playing Thin Red Line at Dungannon Black Saturday, the last parade that they did before lockdown." I have to say, Brian, you didn't give me a full clip. I was so disappointed. Your own band, and you didn't find me a full clip, but it's still a cracking clip for all that it's not a full one. This is Thin Red Line and Brian's own band, Ballyrae Silver. Brian, tell us which one you are. We need to know. That's it. That's all we've got. I'm so disappointed because it's such a great march, and B, it's your own band, Brian. My goodness. So anybody else that's ever picked, and make sure you give me a clip of at least your own band, a full clip. That's why China's off Facebook is doing a t-shirt, John. I have to say, I love Tommy Lloyd's idea. VAR. Valerie's always right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. He says that he is the second on the left, the tall, handsome one. Our Brian's not a bit lacking in confidence, that's for sure. Now, where are we going to next? Yes, I put some of those ideas that he's have for slogans onto a few mock-up t-shirts, and we can see what we think of them. Valerie's rant will be more like it. That's true, Walter. That's true. But I want people to wear these things.
Valnerant.
Valnerant. Yes, that's another one. Now, this next statement that Brian has put in here is not true at all. Okay, it is not true. I just declaring that at the beginning. He's trying to get me into a row of some sort because he said, Valerie said I could pick any band I want as long as it's East Belfast was included. I didn't say those words. So here you go. He says
I saw the proof. He sent me the screenshot.
You're a liar, the pair of yous. This is East Belfast playing at Gertrude Stars Parade in 2018. China can't even message us, comment one thing and another because he's in yet another ban. We think this time he's been completely taken off in that he can't even message one thing or another. We should have a free the Facebook one, free the VBP one or something like that there. Brilliant band, says Stephen. He says, I say it every week. Our culture is brilliant. It sure is. Ross is happy now, says Lorraine. Glad to keep you happy. Jensen had said earlier on that they'll know it's me because just look for your coloured ear. The problem is, Jensen, darling, you'll have a hat on and we'll not see it because your wee ear thing will be so small that we'll not see it from the side of the road. So you just need to walk down and waving at everybody anyway. Penny is in there nice and quick this evening with 1E, 2B, 3C, 4A and 5D. She says she started typing this into a Word document she's working on instead of putting it in here. I have to disappoint you, Penny. We do have a quiz tonight, but it's not options. Woo! Lisa has got a new type of quiz for us, which we're going to have up after this next tune. I have to say that the main clips that Brian chose were all full clips, were all of Blood and Thunder. I'm thinking that Brian is a closet Blood and Thunder fan. Don't know about the rest of yous. The next band up, he says, this band have held a mini 12th for a few years now, and they always attract a good selection of bands. He says there's a great crowd here in this clip, and they are playing Blaze Away. It is the one and only Britborough Flute Band at their own mini 12th in 2018. Quiz coming up next. Brian. Oh, goodness. Brit is one of my favourite flip bands because my granddad was drum major for many years with them, says Alan Knox. Ken Stewart says East Belfast, very good. Someone tell me the name of the second tune that East Belfast played in their reselection there, because I'm fairly certain that's, well, not that I'll recognise it for the name that a flip band calls it, but it's a trad tune. I'm almost sure it is. Billy has decided that Brian is a Roy Plant because he's managing to get full clips of Blood and Thunder. I think you're right. Mark Anderson, this is a brilliant one. I never even thought of this. Mark says, we definitely need a t-shirt made with Flits to the Myth. We're coming to the tune. I never even thought of that. I can't believe it. Say it every week. Never even thought of it.
Well, the reason it's easier for him to get full Blood and Thunder clips because Blood and Thunder is more popular in the videographers, and the videographers film the full clips, but people sort of start filming, especially accordions, start filming, I'm bored now, switch it off. And there was another one coming, I'm bored now, switch it off. But Blood and Thunder, that's good, let's keep at them.
Brian says, I have a lot of cousins here thinking they're better than Ballyray. Well, if we had seen a full clip of Ballyray, Brian, we could say differently, but we didn't. Oh my goodness. Tad says Penny will never get 5 out of 5 with putting E in since there's only 4 bands to pick with. Never even noticed that, Brian, or Tad. Never even noticed that. Neil wants to know, does anyone still have the Ulster Bands Forum charity CD? Wow, you're going back now, Neil. That's a long time ago. That is a long, long time ago. I think I actually have one still in the house, believe it or not.
Pre-1900s.
Huh?
pre-1900s.
Yeah. Now, Lisa's quiz. So we had Dougie says to put you in mute. I only wish I could, Dougie. I only wish I could. Tracy Smith, good evening. Finally, time to relax and listen to some good tunes. Well, you just came in time for the quiz, Tracy. New format this week. New format completely. Lisa's put a lot of time into this, and absolutely brilliant job it is too. I'm really interested to see how many of you get this. So she's put together a list of, let me just check the number. In actual fact, she said the only problem with this that there was no choices for Penny. That was actually the comment that she sent to me. So there's 5 bands here. And this time it is really, really old video clips. And we want to see music and audio. We want to see if you can recognize the band. So there's 5 here. Grab yourself a bit of paper or something like that there and scribble them down. And then when you've seen the final 5, put in your comments to see who managed to get 5 out of 5. So just put them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll see who manages to get it. Or as you're watching them, if you want to put it in that way as well, that works fine. But here is Lisa's 5 clips of mystery bands. Can you tell us who they are? So, what did you think? I have to admit, there was only one of them, whenever I looked at it earlier on, there was only one of them that I even had an inkling about, and I wasn't even certain of that one there. It's tough. And we thought we were giving it to you tough whenever whenever we were, like taking the visuals away and do it by audio. But it seems to have been equally as tough when we give you the visuals as well. So will we play them again, Roy? From what I've seen of the answers, Glenn says 1, I have no clue. 2, having a baldies. 3, loyal sons of nowhere. 4, pride of the mysterious grey. And 5 is star of the unknown. Anna Louise thinks 1's Downshire, 2 Upper Falls, 3 Clocker, 4 Ballybean, 5 SBYC. Mark thought the first one was Giant's Causeway, and he has no clue after that. He gave up after that one. Not easy, is it not? And you would think that seeing visuals would make life easier. And on some occasions, you actually even saw the bass drum as well, and you saw their standards and all that there. So we'll play that again, and then this time I will tell you who the bands are, if that's okay. What we should probably done is stop them after every band to give everybody a chance. Dougie says he's too young for this quiz. Dougie, who are you trying to kid? This is only 2005. These clips are only from 2005. That's what, 15, 17 years ago? It's not that long ago, 16 years ago. Not long ago. Joan says, very good. No 1, Portadown Defenders. Actually, Joan, I'm sorry. None of them were Portadown Defenders. Trevor thinks Giant's Causeway, Portavogie, Ballycraigie, Ballymochan, and South Belfast Young Conquerors. 2 right, Trevor. 2 right. Now, let's play them. So have we got the clip ready, Roy? The first band was Giant's Causeway, Protestant Boys from Bushmills. I thought it was them because of the banneret. It's not actually a beehive on the banneret, Glenn. It's the Causey Stones. This one is Newton Abbey Fusiliers. That was Newton Abbey Fusiliers, just in case you didn't hear it. And clip number 3 was, I hope I got this right, Ballycraigie. Next, that was Ballycraigie Sons of Ulster. Next up is YCV Memorial from Lisburn. So that was YCV Memorial from Lisburn. And then the final one is Rising Sons of the Foam. That final band there was Rising Sons of the Somme from Carrickfergus. I don't think, no, they're not. Well, they might be. Are they all off the road? Someone was asking. They could be. Giant's Causeway tries to get out on at least the 12th day. Newton Abbey Fusiliers, I think, are off the road. Ballycraigie Sons of Ulster, I think the current band are off, but you still have the Ballycraigie Old Boys. YCV Memorial Lisburn, I don't think exists any longer. And Rising Sons of the Somme, Carrickfergus, I don't think exists any longer. Not very many high scores. Margaret says she got all 5. She said, flip bands marching somewhere, so I want a CD. Doesn't work like that, Margaret. Nice try. Nice try. Alan says, Finlay says, oh crap, if I got one more right, then I would have got 1. Joan, I think it was earlier on, says we are all suffering from lack of seeing bands. Well, those are all from 2005, but it was nice seeing those old clips again. And it goes to show that even seeing the bands as well, we can't tell who they are. I'm really surprised at that. Glenn says Joshua won't have any of those band uniforms. He will not. He will not. I don't believe he has one of the band uniforms for the next band, neither.
A wee bit of advertising just before we go to there.
Yes.
On the page now, or on the screen, there is a pint tankard and a whiskey glass with engraved with Made to Parade on it, that Mr. Miller is selling, or he's got commissioned made and he's selling them. So if anybody is wishing to buy such glass or glasses, give Mr. Miller a message and he will sort you out with it.
I'm not really surprised.
With the amount he drinks.
that they're drink related from Glenn. Let's face it, he does have a little bit of an alcohol problem. Which one does your fat frogs go into, Glenn? Yes, Joshua will not have a uniform for this next band. Brian has picked this one. Oh, he says no parade will be complete without a little bit of the sash. He says it's great to see the crowd being entertained in this clip, and that's why we all go out. So hope you enjoy this next clip. I know Denise and Amy will. This is UVF Regimental Band playing the sash. I'm assuming it's on the 12th day somewhere. What did you say, Roy?
I said it's actually good not to hear because they were singing and they didn't get to the bit and goes yo yo yo. Like a lot of ones tend to do.
Yes, I was kind of blogging my ears. No, I was busy reading messages, to be quite honest. Fat frogs get drunk straight from the tin, says Scott Clark. Well, funny, Glenn, I thought exactly the same as what you said, that you make them from scratch. I've only ever made them from scratch. In actual fact, there was one night I made them in the living room. So I had them in the blender. But my wee friend, Nicola, didn't put the lid in the blender before she switched it on. So I ended up with a fat frog decorated kitchen, which was a sticky mess.
Poor frogs getting blended.
Oh, there's no frogs were harmed in the making of these alcoholic drinks. I can
frogs. You said it yourself. Poor frogs.
Annabelle says that's outside the South Belfast First Rangers supporter club. Joshua says that photograph of the mid-period glasses were actually full 5 minutes ago. Alistair says it was at the SBYC band competition. Thank you, Alistair. Glad to know that there. Great band. Pity about the chorus line. all the singers. Ken Stewart says great drum corps and especially the bass drummer. Just a great overall band, to be honest, Ken. I don't think I've ever seen a bad clip of them. Philip says he just seen wee George from Ballymoney in the bottom right hand corner of the video. He loves his parades. Tracy says she loves to hear the passion and the people singing. I would love to hear the right words, Tracy. Just once a chorus with the right words would be lovely. Did you ensure Roy again? I don't know what you're meaning there, Juggy. Scott says may as well add the regimental to that list for them with them other three bands that's never off here. China's Dolls must have had too many shandies singing, says Jimmy. Denise says that they're simply the best. She's not biased or nothing. Not at all. Now, Brian picked the next clip. He says, because the drumming is tight for such small numbers, and he wonders, did they all start as young as the wee cymbal player? This is Drumderg loyalist Katie playing at Gertrude Star in 2018. Another full clip of Blood and Thunder. Honestly, I think that Brian is a closet B&T fan. What do you think? Lot of thumbs up for that one. Brian, good picking there. Bobby, Robert Goldsmith, Brian Goody, Steve McKinney, Lorraine Hunter, Philip Mackay, Jim Finlayson, Robert Goldsmith, Stephen Feely, Mark Anderson, Davy Logan, Jimmy Graham, all thought that that was a fantastic clip. Very impressive band there. And they were indeed playing and sounded very, very well. Rab Keenan says they never disappointed. All hands. Jordan, fantastic band. Brilliant. Now, next up, it's time for a little bit of Scotland. He said, this isn't an Ulster band, but you definitely can't argue with the size of the drum major. Plus, there's a class chap on the big drum, he says. I don't know who's trying to bribe here, but it is the Queen Elizabeth Accordion Band. They're playing here at Dunloy Accordions Band Parade. Unfortunately, not a full clip, but I did see that Harry did put up a clip recently. I shared it in the forum yesterday, of the band in rehearsal. I'd say it's probably pre-COVID. No, they're Scotland's COVID restrictions are lifted earlier than ours. So it was lovely to see and lovely to get fresh clips. So keep them coming, Harry, and give us some more of them. This is Queen Elizabeth playing at Dunloy's Parade in, I'm not sure what year, but it's a good clip of them. Sorry? 2018. So it's a great clip of them. Have a listen to this. Again, unfortunately, too short a clip there of Queen Elizabeth. But I have to say, they're one band that I've kind of struggled getting a range of clips for to play, because they never seem to get a full clip. So it was great to see Harry's clips coming on. Brian's next clip is taking us to South Fermanagh. This is South Fermanagh Young Loyalists, or South Fermanagh Loyalists, playing I Vow to Thee. Brian says he always likes their style of drumming, and he said you'd know them coming anywhere. A really tidy band. Philip agrees with you, says that drum major's a giant and he wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him. I think from memory Harry had told us that the drum major was possibly one of his grandsons. Not 100% certain, but this next band up is South Fermanagh Loyalists. Excellent there from South Fermanagh loyalists. Grace had asked, will everybody be watching the Duke's funeral tomorrow? I will absolutely be doing my best. If I don't get to watch it live, I definitely am taping it to get watching later on. I can't believe that it is the most complained about programme at the BBC. Over 100,000 complaints because they said that the coverage of it was excessive. I mean, this is... it's a momentous time in all our lives because, I mean, he's obviously older than all of us. He's always been there. He's always been the Queen's consort in all of our lifetimes. And people are complaining because they're doing a lot of coverage about him. I think that's ridiculous. They say the main problem is that it was in BBC One and BBC Two at the same time. Yeah, there's only 2 channels, Really? You couldn't have found another channel? You've got Sky with all... I can remember when Channel 4 was switched on live. When you had 4 channels, that would have been a problem. But, there's hundreds on Sky and Freeview and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. But yes, definitely, I hope to be watching it as well. You sure he was older than you, Auntie Val? He definitely wasn't older than me. Denise says, it's simple. If you don't like our country or our Queen, then head to the airport. I wish. Carl says, to get back to Fermanagh for parade, roll on. Very good. Now, someone did comment there. Let me find it again. Urban Lapsey has a question for you, Brian. He says, what about the pipes and silver, especially those local to you? Now, to be fair to Brian, he got the same layout as everyone else. He was allowed 10 Blood and Thunder. Let me just get this right. I quote it correctly, because heaven forbid I would get this wrong. He was allowed to pick 10 Blood and Thunder. He was allowed to pick 5 melody bands, 4 accordion, 2 silver, 2 part, 1 trad, 5 drums, drumline, lambegs, whatever you want for that there, and 1 pipe. So by the time you take the 10 Blood and Thunder, the 5-4-2 of the melody, accordion, silver and part, that there is actually a ratio of, I think it's 13 to 10. 10 Blood and Thunder, 13 part music type bands, which is roughly about the ratios of the band scene in the country. So he had a limit of 1 pipe band, which you've got coming up next. And we have got... his pick is from a local band. He says it's a pipe band from a small village in Fermanagh that is doing well to get young members onto the road. Always love to see. What do you mean, Doug? See, this is happening again. I've always loved to see young members coming into bands. Love to do. But Dougie says he doesn't remember Channel 4 getting turned on. He's too young. Ugh, rubbish. Jimmy was discussing the Ards and Bangor Council would not let the Union Jack be flown at half-mast on warmer miles. Do you know something? I got a phone call from the BBC on Monday asking me to go on to, what's that one in the afternoon, Talkback? And I says, what's it about? Are you sleeping there, Roy? Cheeky blurt.
It's not really Val and a rant, it's sort of it's Val and a story time.
Oh, right, well, fine, I'll not tell you then. That's fine. That's fine.
Don't tell the rest of them. You tell everybody else. Just you tell me. I'm not listening. Just tell everybody else.
I thought it was of interest. I thought I would share it with you.
No, share with everybody. Yes,
fine,
the audience wants to know, not me.
This one is Clabby Pipe Band.
I'm not playing it until you tell it.
You're hateful. Yes, they rang to say, would you like to come on to talk back today? And I said, what's it about? And they said, we're wondering what the Loyalist Unionist population think of Sinn Féin. And I said, why, what have they done now? And they said, they've come out in condolences with the Duke on his death. And I went, why? Why, and what do the Loyalist people think? This is just common decency. To send your condolences and sympathies to people who've been bereaved. Why would that be special? Why are they being lauded for it? And they said, oh, well, we just want to know if the Loyalist people now feel that the Sinn Féin are now a party for government, that's someone they can work with in the government because they came out and sent their condolences in Prince Philip's death. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous? I'm telling you guys nothing again. I am telling you guys, nothing again. This is Clabby Pipe Band playing at Bar Pipe Band Parade in 2019. I thought it was interesting. I thought you would enjoy it. Again, not a full clip. I'm not telling you, I'm not sharing anything more with you guys. Not sharing anything more. Brian's next pickup is Donaghadee Flutes and Drums. So
Is that not sharing Brian's next choice? Is sharing it with... I'm twisted tonight.
You are. You are. You
And I do have to say that Brian's picks are fantastic. They would have been even better if they'd been full tunes, though. Sorry, Brian, but the choice of bands and everything else is great. But
no, they are very, very good clips. Very, very good clips. It is hard to find full clips at times. It really, really, really is. Funny, couple of comments, and this is a conversation that I've had with my son. I can remember, who can remember when you had to dial in the TV channels? And who can remember when you had to, before remotes, when you had to actually push the button to change the channels? Now, it's not that I am super, super old. It's just that, we weren't, my dad was the only one worked. So, we had a lot of money flying about. So we were just happy to have a TV.
and
So
the
even when
first
channel...
remotes, the first
when
remotes
channel-
on the VCRs with the wire that went to the video.
No, I don't remember that, but I do remember when Channel 4 came on, that we had to tune the fourth button on, and there only was 4 buttons on the TV. So Channel 5 wasn't around at that stage. Who remembers that? Can't surely just be me.
I remember it, Val, as well.
Thank you.
I was only a nipper, but I understand you were in your 50s and 60s whenever this was happening. But I was only a nipper.
The other thing Mason is always astounded about is the fact that the phone in the house used to be attached to the wall, and that we didn't have mobile phones. He wonders, what did you do? What? How did you make phone calls when you were out? You went to a red phone box. He can't get over that. Sorry. Next clip up is Flutes and Drums Donaghadee. This is for Jensen. He says, Brian says it's a great lively performance from Donaghadee, even in the dark. He says, lucky they're not like us silver and depend on music. This is the Flutes and Drums at Bangor Protestant Boys in 2019. Lots of group memories coming in for you guys. Hopefully, wee Jensen was in there. I think he was. CFAX remembers Trevor Monaghan. Caroline remembers black and white. We had a black and white in the bedroom with the turn dial, and I think that was because, like, somebody had got a new TV and they gave us that for the bedroom. Jimmy says he was so poor that they had to watch next door's TV. Bamboozle on Channel 4 Teletext was class. It was like a quiz and you had to press the red, yellow, blue, and green buttons for your answer. Was that what that was? There definitely was a quiz in Teletext or CFAX or something like that there. Robert remembers it. Annabelle,
vaguely remember that.
Huh?
I vaguely remember that. Very vaguely. I think it was still nappies.
You're the same age as me. Don't be at it, you hellion. Gary Bryan says he remembers pushing the buttons and he's only 20 years younger than you, Val. Gary, you're for clash. You're in the black book for certain. Adrian also remembers setting the video. Oh, do you remember having to set the video recorder? And you had to get through it the day, time, start time, end time, and all that kind of stuff. There was none of the sky. There's the program, click, record, and away it went. Oh, none of that there. It was the sports one every Saturday. Margaret says, do you remember where the TV went off for the night? And do you remember they always played the Queen last thing in the BBC? And do you remember the picture of the girl with the chalkboard behind her? Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Roy?
Yeah, that was your youngest sister that actually posed for that, from what I can remember.
Jarvis is watching snooker in black and white. Well, believe it or not, even though it was in black and white, you could tell the differences. Jerry says that's back in the 80s. Albert remembers it. Davy Logan says used to put the 50p in the bag of a higher TV. We never did. We never had a higher TV. Ronnie, the white dot after the Queen. Yes, I remember that.
We had a higher TV, but it was from radio rentals. So Dad paid it every week, but so you didn't have to put the money in the. We didn't have to put the money in the slot. We actually, because he paid it, the shop
in advance.
Yeah. And so.
Alan McGraw says I'm as old as the hell. Alan, you are for Clash the next time I see you. You're definitely in the black book. Glenn Miller is trying to pretend he is as young as Joshua Morris. Glenn, you're older than me and Roy, for goodness sake. Edward had only 2 channels when he was young, and because he was the youngest, he was the remote. Very good. Very good. Joshua has asked a serious question. He says, how did Bandmaster sort out parade arrangements and availability before mobile phones? It was done at band practice, Joshua. If you didn't get the message at band practice, that was it. There was no ringing around the night before, and there was no last minute organisation the way there is now.
Is that back whenever band members were dedicated to one band?
No comment. Philip says he used to get shouted at by his mum because he couldn't use the phone when he was on the internet. Good old dial-up. Yes, do you remember that there? You'd have been on the phone and the next thing you were shouting out, get off the phone! Tommy Lloyd says, for those watching in black and white, the red ball is behind the bride. Betty, again, she remembers the dot fading on the TV. Margaret remembers the Queen. Diane and her sister took it in turns to change the channels. Oh my goodness. Remember, you had no TV, Ariel, and you used a metal coat hanger, a fork, metal coat hanger. Alan told his kids that his first computer, the Commodore 64 Top, or the range of 64 megabytes of memory. I can remember, I think it was actually my brother getting a computer, and you loaded the games by cassette. Like you literally, at the end of the keyboard, there was a cassette player, and you pop the cassette in and load it.
Yeah, the Commodore 64 actually had the tape connected to it, but I had a VIC 20, which had a separate tape deck, so it took 5 minutes of listening to and then turn the tape over, then go again, and then 3/4 of the way through it crashed, so you had to start all over again.
Tommy Lloyd, you're in the black book. Val was the original face of the test card. My goodness, my goodness. Or the program started late and you missed the end. Yes, that was for the recordings in the video. Oh my goodness. Grandstand. Scott misses Grandstand. Keith wants to know, what's this TV thing everyone's talking about? Late call in Scotland. But having said that, the New Year's Eve programs in Scotland coming from Scotland were brilliant then. Because Scott says that you paid advance. That's how high society lived. Oh my goodness. We had the Reverend I Am Jolly. Scott Glicks McGraw and Lee's watching tonight again. You're far too young to know what all this touch. Trevor Lennon says, do you remember the pictures? The other sort rushed to get out before the national anthem. That was when the national anthem was played at the end of everything. Davy Logan says, coming home blocked after a parade to watch Hitman and Her. Do you remember Hitman and Her? Oh my goodness. My mum still has that games thing up in the attic and the TV screen. My goodness. The Spectrum 128 had a built-in tape. I have no idea what it was. No idea whatsoever. And an old black and white TV portable, and you had to move the best aerial to get the reception. That's right. You moved it for the channels as well. That was hands. Now, but away from this reminiscing, we could sit here all night and do that there. Microwaves. Do you remember when microwaves came in at the beginning as well? Crazy. It's amazing how people of our generation, who've gone through all this here, who were born in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, how much actually technology advances we have lived through. You don't realize it until you start to explain it to your kids. Do you know what I mean? So one of the Fermanagh's finest accordion bands, says Brian, for our next clip. Always very smart and tidy on parade. It is Ballinamallard Accordion. This is them at their own parade in 2018. I'm going to have to tell myself to stop talking tonight because I've got 15 minutes left of the show and we've got about half an hour left of music to play. So I need to talk less. But there's so many brilliant comments coming up here. How many youngins would know how to use a phone box these days? It's totally true. Mason hasn't a clue how to use a rotary phone. Colin was on the Hitman and Her. Were you? Scotch videotape, re-record, not fade away. I remember that. And then someone always recorded a program that you didn't want to lose, and then someone always recorded over it, and then it was a row. Philip used to know people who locked the back door or locked the exit doors of the cinema to stop them from leaving as well. Excellent. Oh my goodness, it's madness, absolute madness. Love talking about these sort of things. This is what we're all about. This is the kind of stuff you would stand and talk about at the side of the road at a band parade. That's why this chat works in the middle. Now, we cannot miss out this next band, so we'll have to get through all these bands because there's some crackers coming up. Next up is White Rock. Brian says they always look like a fun band to be in. So they do. They've a style very much like the County. And this is them playing Sussex by the Sea. Everyone enjoying the White Rock there. Some more great memories coming in. Alan says breaking the wee tabs in a video to start recording it over and then putting sellotape over the hole to record over it anyway. And I can remember my mum bought me one of them big like ghetto blasters, you know, like they were like massive, great big things. And they used to have to sit, you sat on a Sunday listening to the top 40, just waiting to press record. And the DJ always spoke either over the beginning or over the end. It used to drive me mad. Oh my goodness, there's some great memories. Fireball XL5, the Whirlybirds are car 54. Where are you? I remember having a Joe 90 bedspread. That was before duvets. You know, you had blankets and then you had a fancy bedspread over the top. I remember having a Joe 90 one. It was actually my cousin's. And whenever he got too big for it, then I got handed it. And I remember that. Mum, do you remember the Joe 90 bedspread? Remember that? I didn't see the thing that Roy had up. It was not me at all. And it wasn't my younger sister either. Just
you're right, it wasn't your younger sister. It was your younger sister.
Only have one sister. Now, next band out, Brian says it's nice to see a band out on the 12th or 13th. And he says this band are always very, very easy on the ear. Playing an Orange medley. This is Lisburn Young Defenders out in 2020 on the 13th of July.
I see me in this clip.
Excellent there from LYD, as always brilliant playing.
That helped make my 12th last year. You know,
Getting to see them.
I spent what, nearly an hour with them and listening to music and everything else. It was absolutely fantastic. Before I had to skip the motorway to Rathcoole, but it was absolutely fantastic. And I have to say, the band is very, very welcoming, and much credit to them.
All bands are really, really welcome. That's what people don't understand about them. Margaret says, Valerie, bet you watched the Muskehounds as a child. Now they are back to haunt you. I did actually watch the Muskehounds cartoon as a kid. I love that. D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds. That's where it came from. Just Class, is that the one Roy made with the drone at. I don't think that was Roy's drone clip, but definitely that's the same day. I think you did the drone, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the same day. At the very, very start, before they set off to walk into town, I did the drone at the very, very start, and then I went live from the front of the band, and I was at the front the whole way along, doing video with one hand and taking pictures with the other hand.
Eddie says his sister used to have to rescue me from behind the settee every time the Thunderbirds come on. Very good, very good. Trevor Monaghan remembers blankets made of red Scotch Brite. Was that the really, really rough tartan? Is that the one that you're talking about, Trevor, there? Robert says that was bad camera position and missing out in the best part. Robert is a fan of Naomi, who walks at the front of the band, and we know that from past comments, don't we, Robert?
And if you go into pictures on Parade, I've got the clip where I record it, and it's from the front of the band, and Naomi's in it the whole way through it, so you can actually just watch.
Adrian says he remembers his map had a lock on the phone to stop you using it, but the tap the number out on the wee things where the receiver went. Not sure how you did that. We had a rotary phone, and then we thought we were really, really posh because we got a phone in the kitchen, and it was one of the ones, you know, where you pick it up and the numbers were on the handset. So it just sat in a wee rest, and you picked it up. How sad. How really, really
I remember getting my first house and getting the first cordless when you had to pull the big silver aerial out of it, and you could only go about 10 metres from the base. And it's sort of
I remember getting one of my first mobile phones. It was like a brick. It was absolutely brick. Diane's onto the school dinners, the jam and coconut sponge and custard. Oh my goodness, Diane, you're in a whole nother cornflake cake. The cornflake. Oh my goodness. Let's get on to another band. We're going to be here all night.
Valerie,
what?
Just happens to be one of the ones I'm vaping tonight. Oh, that camera. One of the ones I'm vaping tonight is cornflake cake custard. So it just tastes like the cornflake buns with the jam in it and the custard over it. It's gorgeous.
And the toffee one. Do you remember the toffee one that oh my goodness. Anybody remember the green custard? Do you remember that? Oh my goodness. Oh no, we have to stop this one. We're here all night. We'll be here all night, so we will. Oh, now, Brian says for this next clip, now let's get this over here. He says, for this next clip, he says, after 40 years in the silver band, it feels like an old boy. But he says, I'm still classed as a cub because of my boyish good looks. I'm just reading out what's there. He says he always likes the old boy bands, and it's great to see old friends back together. And I know there'll be a couple of people happy to see this one, Mr. Webb in particular, because this is Portadown Defender Old Boys playing at the Parade in 2012. excellent there from Portadown. Hopefully, Tim, you enjoyed that one as well. The couple of other ones there. I was sitting thinking about it. You wrote up there, Joan, you had wrote up about tapioca or semolina and rosehip syrup. And I was thinking frog spawn, but I couldn't remember what you called it. So, Trevor, that's right. Tapioca and syrup, frog spawn. I hated it. I couldn't eat it. I'm with Carl. I'm with you. Couldn't eat it. Frog spawn. Oh my goodness. Anybody remember the marble cake? You know, the pink and brown cake? Do you remember that one too? Oh, some brilliant memories coming back.
And
Cremola foam.
Scott Clark had forgot what Naomi looked like, so I put a picture up.
Cremola foam. Cremola foam. Oh, I loved cremola foam. Absolutely loved it. You can get it now again. They've started making it again. They lost the original recipe and they've started making some of it again. You can get it in like those old time sweet shops. I think there's one in Ballymoney. And you can get it again, but it just doesn't taste the same. It's nice, but it's just not the same. I loved cremola foam. I can remember that was always our treats. Ice cream and chocolate custard. No, never that combination at all. Definitely
Oh yes,
not.
that's definitely ice cream and chocolate custard. Definitely was down around Ballymena way. It was in Ballymena Primary we had it.
No. But your school dinners were always really good at school, weren't they? That's the thing. You know, now when you think back on them, you didn't like them then because you didn't get chips often enough. But you know, you get loads of boiled potatoes and all that kind of stuff. But
I loved my primary school dinners. I
We needed it.
always went late so I could get seconds, and then because the canteen staff liked me for puddings, I always got second and thirds of pudding. And I was talking to the kids today about it because their canteens woeful because of Jimmy Oliver. It is just absolutely woeful now what they get in the canteens, and
yes.
they just eat a bag of crisps and then get
No.
a piece of pudding.
Well, I think Mason would eat out of the canteen, but you know, it's just because of the fact that it's there more than anything else. Our school canteen lady was brilliant. Sadie Carson, she was fantastic. Just want to give a big shout out to Joanne Wright because she is watching. I didn't know until the band shared it yesterday that Joanne was actually played and has a cap for Northern Ireland ladies football team. So congratulations, Joanne. She says she played in the 80s and 90s. She wasn't playing on Tuesday night, but what a accolade to be able to say that you represented your country and you wore the shirt and you have a cap. Well done, Joanne. Multi-talented in so many ways, huh? My goodness. Davey says it was great when your mum was a dinner lady. It certainly was. Worst thing was the smoked fish. Still can't stand it. Fun, I like smoked fish. Shortbread and pink custard. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's so. Is anyone like me and hate? I love marzipan, Jim. Oh, I love marzipan. Absolutely adore marzipan. That's my favourite part of the Christmas cake, I have to say.
Marzipan the smell of marzipan reminds me of bombs, so I hate it.
Oh, right. Okay. Mark Anderson says, who remembers blackboards and writing on them with chalk? I remember that you had to duck no, that was the secondary school. We had to duck because you could have got a chalk or you remember the wooden cleaners for the blackboards? You could have got one of those fired at you very quickly. And that was a grammar school. Now, we're going to go back to your silver. Brian says this is another local silver band playing Blaze Away. He did manage to find a full clip for this, so I was most delighted because I love Blaze Away. And this is Churchill Silver playing at Rosnowla in 2019. I think he said somewhere that every time he goes to Rosnowla, it rains. I can't see that. Oh, Rosnowla is a lovely place, but it always rains when I go, he says. Brilliant. Quite a few people there saying about Rosnowla. First of all, Glenn, it's not that it's a very rich country parade. It is through a caravan. Well, it goes down the side and along the front of a caravan park. So that's why there's so many caravans parked there. Plus, people take the caravan down from the night before and, park up, watch the parade and then go home.
Rosnowla is rich folk that got motorhomes to get down there with.
It is a fantastic parade if it's sunny. It is terrible if it's raining because there's really only one place to shelter, and that's the pub, and it's not the biggest of pubs. So no, it's not nice when it's raining, but it is a fantastic place to go when it is sunny. Joanne says she wishes she was still able to play nearly half a century ago. Now, Joanne, do what I'm doing. I am going to go down from each year from now on. I'm going to take a year off my age. So you do what I'm doing. Hopefully it'll bring us back in fitness as well. Jimmy Graham, you're in the black book. Did I not use a slate at school? Away on with you. Han says we could be here to 12 reminiscent. We absolutely could. And as you've noticed, we're running on. So hopefully you'll stay with us. You guys tripping up boys with the dinner in their hands and dropping the plates in the dining room. My goodness. Ice cream, jelly and pears. Oh, that is so fantastic. Raspberry ruffles to get me to go to Sunday school. Oh my goodness. Tim Webb wants to shout out to a great friend, a gentleman, Gerald Lunn, who is watching the show for the first time tonight. I also would like to give out a big shout out to Alison McAleese, who is one of Penny's Sen students and listens to us every week. So she loves the bands, and it's always watching YouTube on the bands in the library. So I hope you are both enjoying it for your first time watching and you're watching it every week. Oh my goodness, there's so many great memories here. So many great memories. Edward says one thing he was good at was ducking from the board duster. Getting the belt at school. I only got caned once. I got it with a ruler. I got it with a ruler on my hands and it was sore. Now, Brian is not going to be a favourite in the a favourite of the Kilkeel contingent tonight, I have to say. Roy's a fan. Roy's okay with him. He says he really likes this next band. They enjoy getting up to Kilkeel to hear all the local bands and having a wee stay over. This is More Young Defenders playing at Canallan's Parade. Again, it's not a full clip, but it's still a good clip. Excellent there for more young defenders. Pride of Kilkeel, says Mark Anderson. Jim Graham said they must be a fast forward, some walking speed, but as Ken said, that's at least a good 120 beats per minute. Very, very well played indeed. Now, thank you, Norse, for reminding me about birthdays. So we'll do the birthdays after this next play. It is one of Brian's father's favourite bands. He said there's always used to be a tape around somewhere in the house. They were actually world champions, and he remembers when he was much younger listening to them loads. This is Corcrane Flute Band at Oma Protestant Boys Annual in 2013. So while this is playing, I think it's 3 birthdays I've got so far. If you have any more birthdays, give us a wee shout, and then we'll get you serenaded after this. Lisa has just pointed out that that's not actually Corcrane Flute Band, it's Coleraine Fife and Drum. How did you manage that, Brian? And you know something? I just popped the clip in, checked the start and the end of it, and checked the times, and didn't didn't even look, to be quite honest. So I'm probably as guilty as you.
Well,
there,
the YouTube clip says Corcrane Flute Band, Oma Protestant Boys 2013.
Is it?
Yes. But then somebody else has put down that's Coleraine, is it not? Below it. But it's the YouTube clip does say Corcrane.
Oh my goodness. Reggie is watching, so imagine Joy is there first. Yeah, we were wondering. Joy had been very quiet tonight, and we thought there was maybe something wrong. Where there's a uniform, there is a Joshua Morris. My goodness. Now, I haven't had any more birthdays that I can see. Let me just double check. Yes. No more birthdays there. So let's wish a very happy birthday to Neil McCartney's wife, who we found out is named April. So very, very happy birthday to you, April. He says that you're 40 again, apparently. I believe it's probably for the first time. If you're even that, I would say closer to 21. I would think now, in my expert opinion, I would think you're closer to 21. Brian Goody has wanted us to wish his better half a very, very happy birthday. So Sylvia, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day or had a great day. And also Andrew Bell would like to wish a happy 33rd birthday to Neil Simpson. Now, I don't know whether he's been serious about that, Neil, or not. You might be only being 23 and he's calling you 33. I'm not too sure. And Brian Emerson very, very quietly put it past, but his niece let it out. I think it was his niece let it out on one of the comments that he'd be 50 next week. You never have to tell us that, Brian. So this is also for you. So happy birthday to you all. And of course, your night would not be complete without the sounds of the Muskehounds serenading you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from the forum. Happy birthday to you.
Never fails to make me smile, that one. Now, Brian's next choice, he says he wishes he had a quarter of the energy of these young staff guys in the 13th in Scarva. Well, remember, Brian, you are, I'm sure, 4 times their age. Like, you're an old boy now. This is Pride of the Hill at Rathfriland playing at Scarva in 2014. Wow, that's a big band. Just after the drums had started to come past me, I was looking and looking and looking, and I couldn't actually see the end of the band. Like that was some size of a band. Not a full clip there, Brian. My goodness, my goodness. Must do better, huh? That's what your school report will say. We're talking about all the school dinners. That's what your school report will say. Must try harder. Now, I can't fault your next clip, however. It is another accordion band. It is, he says this is a great stylish accordion band, always sounding well, playing well, and on this occasion they're playing a great wee silver band march called True and Trusty. It is Brunswick Accordion. And that, my lord, is the prosecution's evidence for why you should never record an accordion band from behind the drum corps.
But I did happen to notice there, they've only got two drums. Josh, look, they need drummers.
You're bad. You are bad, man. We have only 2 clips left. Yous have kept us late the night. You're talking about the school dinners and all the memories, but it was brilliant because I loved talking about all that stuff. And you until you think about it, you really don't. And as someone said, like when you think of like our generation and all the I've just seen Glenn Miller's comment, or all the all the changes that we have lived through. Just imagine what someone like Prince Philip at 99 or the Queen, all the changes that they have seen. It's mind-boggling when you think about it. Now, one of our last 2 bands, Brian says, this is a band that never disappoints. Always a great pace and a steady big drummer. It is the one and only Cookstown Sons of William. Excellent there from Cookstown Sons of William. Just want to give a shout out to someone I've never seen commenting before. Thank you for commenting, Cordelia. It is great to hear from you. And again, do feel free to comment. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to, first of all, you don't have to insult me. That is not obligatory. I know you would maybe think that by the comments that go on there sometimes, but that's not crucial. It's not essential to insult me in any way. Just say hello. watching in Coleraine or watching in wherever you are. We do love to hear from you. Sorry?
It's in Cookstown.
Well, I know that parade was in Cookstown.
No, she's
but
in
you know what?
Cookstown.
Coal Island.
Is it Coal Island? So she was Cookstown.
I was going to be Denise's comment. Hello, Cordelia and Coal Island. So there you go. Hello, Denise and Coke, she was saying. Yes, someone asked a question there, so we're running late anyway, so I might as well just answer it. Where did it go? Jerry had asked, was it... I've lost it now. About distance between the bands.
Is it 50
Yes,
yards
see when
between
you're
bands?
band parade, it's 50 yards between each band. It's not. Generally, the distance you leave between you and the band in front is kind of a respect thing between bands. There's nothing worse than a big band being this is the way I describe it, but it doesn't sound right, being tight up the arse of a smaller band, right? Okay, there's a better way to phrase that, but it's just the one I'm used to using, okay? Because you know, like the bigger bands drowning out the, so staying back a little bit and giving them that space is kind of a mark of respect. However, when you get to some of the loyal order parades, particularly some of the ones who can come under pressure from residence groups, I'm thinking the like of the Apprentice Boys and things like that, they have to keep their gaps between bands to a minimum. So sometimes their stewards can be, I can understand why they're doing it, but they can be a bit over officious in trying to ensure that there's no gaps between bands. And the bands kind of don't like it because it's insulting to the band ahead of them. So sometimes I think, if stewards just had a little bit more tact or understanding of why the bands don't like to get too close together, it would definitely help relationships all around. But I can also understand why the stewards are doing it, because when you have residence groups who are objecting to your parade, they will pick on anything whatsoever. They will even walk through the middle of the parade and through the middle of Orange Men or through the middle of bands in order for someone to react and move them or touch them, and then they have a court case. So, you have to be very, very careful. But there's no obligatory distance between bands at all. Scott had also asked there, were we going to be doing a minute's silence for the Duke of Edinburgh tomorrow night? We're not going to do a minute's silence. And we're not going to be playing the Queen tomorrow night neither, because we did that when we got the news of his death. And I always said that the only time we'd ever play the Queen on the show would be the last time. I made an exception for that because understandably. We are going to have a small tribute. Will Mullen, of course, is doing our picks tomorrow night, and he has picked a small tribute to Prince Philip, and we're going to have this part of the show. But I don't know that a minute's silence would be kind of hard to...
The national minute silence is at 3:00 anyway, so...
Yeah. So hopefully everyone will be taking part in that there. To set your alarm on your phone or whatever you do. Make sure that you observe that minute's silence. Now, we have come to our last clip. Now, we did play this band last weekend, and I got a message from his mum. So we're going to play and finish off. Brian's final clip of the evening is a little clip from Bestbrook True Blues. And we all thought last week that the wee drummer was fantastic, and we were all amazed at how cool he was, and we were all amazed about how calm he was in front of the camera and how well he did. So his mum contacted me during the week, and she said that Callum is absolutely over the moon to see a wee tune of him tipping tonight on the show. And I said, look, we're all big fans of his. We think he's brilliant. So Callum, we are so delighted that you're watching and that you're seeing yourself. And I said, it's brilliant, the way that he can stand in front of the video and all that there. As calm, cool as a cucumber. A lot of adults couldn't do it just as well. And she says he started off watching the bands on YouTube with 2 pencil sticks at a year old, and he's been hooked ever since. Isn't that brilliant? Like the dedication and enthusiasm and the talent that wee guy has. So this is another clip of Callum. Well, sorry, it's Callum and the rest of Bestbrook True Blues. Sorry, Miles, if you're watching. The rest of True Blues are there, but mainly, hopefully, Callum. And this is them at Canallan's Parade. I hope it's not the same clip to be honest. I watched the start of it, but I didn't think it was the same clip, but I could be wrong. But regardless, it's well worth watching again. So this is Best Book 2 Blues at Canals Parade. Just before we finish up this evening, I want to thank Brian for his wonderful choices this evening. I think we can all agree the choices were great. He did a really good job. Round of applause from Roy. For any of you who are picking again, make sure you give us full clips or you'll get the same abuse poor Brian has got this evening. We love the full clips. We're enjoying a tune so much. We want to see it all. But thank you, Brian, for choosing our clips this evening. Tomorrow evening, we have Mr. Will Mullen from Earn Music picking. Now, Will is a part music man. And it's caused some consternation that he's only allowed to pick 2 part music bands. So he said he's just going to do nothing but pick Blood and Thunder tomorrow night. You'll have to wait and see which Blood and Thunder he has picked, however, and whether I allowed it. Only one person got to do a full Blood and Thunder show, Roy. Is that right?
And it wasn't even my Blood and Thunder because I opened it out to the audience and they chose the bands, not me. So
never again. Never again.
It was one of the highest viewing shows.
No, at that time, yes, but it's been eclipsed many times over since.
If we done another one, it would eclipse everything yet again.
Oh, shush. We will see you tomorrow night for Will's picks. Thank you so much, Brian, for tonight's picks. Someone said that brilliant picks tonight for an Isle Boy. Well, you are going to be 50 next week after all. You got to accept these things. This is our finishing off with Best Book 2 Blues. We will see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Until then, keep the flutes to the myth, boys, because we're coming to the tune.
It was when England's glorious sun in 1688 was overcast with treason's cloud and popery stood elate, that up arose her Protestants, the peasant and the peer, and vowed the chain of perjure James that they would not dainty wear. They sought them out a prudent chief to guide their heart and seal, to lead them on that victory might bless their flashing steel. And who so fit to guide that host in all its bright array as William, Prince of Orange, ere he landed at Torbay? Then up arose the mighty chief and left his native shore, and rode upon the stormy waves our freedom to restore. Upon his flag was blazoned forth, high fluttering o'er the main, that our religion and our laws he ever would maintain. 'Twas in gallant style he stood upon the vessel's prow, with victory on his flashing sword and wisdom on his brow. And tens of thousands greeted him upon his natal day, when he, our glorious Orange chief, first landed at Torbay. Come, brethren of the Orange bond, a bond ne'er to be riven. Whene'er we give great William's name, a bumper must be given. For if you'd fire a feu de joie to him who victory won, come prime and load and see you give charge unto your gun. The eloquence of bumpers full, there's nothing can surpass. There's naught expresses kindred soul like friendship's social glass. And thus we give our song and toast with 3 times 3 huzzah, the memory of King William and his landing at Torbay. The memory of King William and his landing at Torbay.